Hey, how we doing today, guys? My name is CryptoPresidente. It's been a while, but I'm bringing out some new content, bringing out more videos to inform newcomers and people who already have a toe in the water with cryptocurrency and they just want to expand their views and learn something new. So let's get right to it. Now, what I'm calling right now is a wave of regulations because waves, they come. It's like a shoreline. They come and go. They hit. They can be drawn back by the ocean, and then hit even harder and stronger. And that I feel is gonna go really hand in hand with what's going on right now in the cryptocurrency market. You see, today's the 23rd of June. This is clearly not at the same time that it was posted, but it is going to be a bit of a long drop over the weekend of what's been going on. So, regulations have been hitting in Japan. More specifically, the Financial Services Agency in Japan is bringing out some more and more regulations for their market leaders. All right, so first and foremost, we're talking about Bitflyer over here. And what happened with Bitflyer is that there was a rejection with their FSHO license, and because of that, the FSA is looking to increase protection, not just for the customer, for the business as well, and they need to start regulating things because, as I've said in earlier videos, cryptocurrency is this middle ground right now, where more regulation needs to be thrusted on it, so that it's not so volatile that companies can actually use it as a form of, exchange of goods and services. And that's where a lot of these countries and governments, they're trying to head if they're going to jump on cryptocurrency. And I know at this point they see it as inevitable, but if the regulation comes, they can go ahead and still use it even with centralized banking. But more on that later on. So as I was saying, Bitflyer, Bitbank, and Coin, they have sanctions going on with Bitcoin Japan and BTC Box, both of those being on the line as well to face the sanctions and the improvement ordeals. So as you can see, it's not something that's way out there and it's crazy just for one company. It's reaching out to a multitude of businesses, okay? Which, and honestly, in all perspective of things going on, I have a very optimistic view and approach to where things are going to be headed. And the reason for that is I'm going to explain to it a little bit later on at the end of the video. For right now, let's just run down the facts real quick. Mr. Takahashi Sato is a crypto consultant, and his view on it is that a lot of times right now they need to work on anti-money laundering, trading for the consumer. For them to be insured if anything goes wrong with a hack or any of the sort of those cases. That's what a lot of these things are falling under is, anti-money laundering, criminals who use it to their advantage, hackers who can steal away millions of users' cryptocurrency or altcoins in 24 hours in span or even less than, and get away with it scot-free. So right now, what everybody's concerned with is how reliable can we make this as a system and not even just alone as a currency for people to use. Now, because of this, Japan isn't the only one that's trying to regulate things. As a matter of fact, the United States is getting closer and closer to it. Like I said before, the United States is coming around with cryptocurrency. We don't have the most amount of users in this country, but we do have a lot more millennials and the younger generation being more aware and interested in cryptocurrency. As of lately, people have not been buying as much Bitcoin, which if you see it on this whole week, since June 20th, even the 23rd right now, Bitcoin is at $6,233, I believe I last saw, like 15 minutes ago, and it dipped down to 6,000, almost 6,000, almost flat, when it was hovering at 6,400 above earlier a couple days. So right now, not many people are buying Bitcoin at this time, because it's been steadily dropping since I believe March and April, and it was at 1.10,000. Now we're at 6,000. To a lot of people that want to day trade and see this as a quick fix for money, that's not looking too good for them. So they're not going to start investing unless they're an early adopter and they stay through this, or they just wait for the increase that's going to happen later on. Now, with that being said, congressmen in the U.S. are now being required to announce and disclose any cryptocurrency investments that can be worth more than $1,000. That's just for transactions that are going on, and it has to be within 45 days of the transaction. So even if something happened like a month back or so, at this point they will need to disclose it depending on the length of when they bought it and how that went. Uh, you know, as of recently, and this is what I want to get people to understand, is that cryptocurrency is going to become a reliable foundation for money to be used for the exchange of services and goods. Because in 2012, I know it doesn't seem as important, but in this article it states clearly that they have to disclose their stocks, bonds, derivatives, personal assets, real estate, and investments. These are all things that are making people passive money, congressmen money, and the fact that we're bringing this up in the article right here for one thing. A second one, now they have to disclose their cryptocurrency, is that yeah, they're making money off of this, even though it's seen as kind of shady or not in such a good lighting at this moment. That doesn't matter because at the end of the day, they are still making money, and because of that, it's gonna start being on the same pedestal that stocks, bonds, real estates, all these personal assets that are being used that increase their passive amount of money they make, it's gonna start being on that sort of league instead of just the middle class consumers that are trying to adapt. So this right here is like I'm saying a wave, which things are just being pulled back further and further. Bitcoin is dropping in the amount of money that it's worth. Is being drawn back. We have more regulations coming in more and more, making cryptocurrency pull back even more and more. Because it's not just Bitcoin that went down. A lot of these altcoins went down. Ethereum went down. You know, Bitcoin Cash went down as well, but that's kind of hand on hand with regular Bitcoin. And with that being said, I do believe that we're headed for regulations and it's only going to prosper right now. When you trade and you day trade and you graph things out, right now the dipping point was the 6,000, the 6,000 flat. As of today, it's at $6,232, which means that the last dipping point was at 6,000. And the fact that it's hovering above that right now and it's going to proceed to go up, it's only going to mean that if it ever drops down again, it's not going to be lower than the 6,000. And if it is, then we're only waiting for it to expand as a wave, go be pulled back more and more, and the gains to be a lot higher. So patience is the virtue in this kind of game. But with that being said, the United States, it's coming around with the regulations as well. They're making the congressmen know, hey, you gotta let us know what you're doing with this cryptocurrency, when you bought it, when you traded it, and how much you're making. They're not allowed. Their total earning cap for cryptocurrency at this moment, and this point in time when the article was made and the regulation, is at $28,050. You know, as the cap as a side employment of their earnings. So that's the cap right there. Even when mining as well, it's not just trading. They can mine it, and it has to be capped off at that. So clearly, we're seeing that if the congressmen are doing it, the big companies, the CEOs are doing it, and the Irish consumer is starting to learn more and do more about it, then this is only going to be a regulation. Right now, it doesn't matter that Bitcoin is down. It doesn't matter that all these other coins are down because you don't need to look at this on a day by day basis. You need to think of this in months and years. So right now, it's a perfect time for a newcomer to come into this market, buy some Bitcoin, lock it up, keep it safe. Don't think about it, man. Throw the key away and go on to your day job or whatever it is that you do and wait for it to expand and grow on its own. Because right now it's a dip. And this dip is a perfect time for people to buy while everybody's selling because they're panic selling because of all these regulations. Because Bitcoin is not selling as much as it was, in December when it blew up. And that's okay because the people that are selling at this point, they're gonna be the ones that are losing. The winners are gonna be buying right now and holding it on. Like for example, I'm holding on to some coins myself. And I'm not a personal investor, but if you go to any of the YouTube channel or any other person that's trading, they're gonna tell you to always buy in a dip when people are selling. Well, guess who's selling right now? And moving on, with that, a lot of these cryptocurrencies, like I was saying, it's just backing up that regulations are, they're becoming a security. Even Ripple right now is going through some security issues, dealing with fraud and such. I'm not really going to delve into this article too much. You can read it yourself when I link it down below. But, Ripple is being guided as a security, and the CEO says otherwise. So that's showing a little bit of a problem. And like I said, look, boom, Bitcoin tumbled by 8%. Oh, my bad. It was $6,092.38. That's what it was at. As of Friday the 22nd. Today's the 23rd. This is in the morning, so it's been a good period for that to jump up. Like I said, it's been going down steadily. I'm not too worried about it, and I don't believe anybody else should be. You gotta look at this in the long-term picture, not just short-term. This is just gonna, back up the claims that I'm making on the first article about how the regulations are affecting it and how its performance has been based over this past couple of months and how it has been steadily dropping. You know, and you can read all these articles. You can find out yourself. The best thing to do is just do your own research. I mean, I'm just out here to give out a guideline per se of information for people. I'm not here to predict how things are going to go, if the market will move up or not. And I know in hindsight, I am doing that with the regulations and the businesses in Japan and what I'm talking about. But I'm looking at this as a logical way of how things are moving on. You're just connecting the dots. I'm not going to speculate how much Ripple per se is going to jump to $12 in the next 3 months when it's a lot lower than that currently, and it's not even going to get close to it, I believe, personally. I'm not making those sort of predictions. I'm just outlining the moves that are being made to where you can connect the chains and say, okay, well, I can come in between this moment and see how things go. This wave that's being pulled back, like I said, that's why it's important. Waves are pulling back and they're going to be even bigger, like a tsunami wave. That's all it is to it, man. There's no destruction. It's only going to be growth and benefit to the winner, and to the losers, they're going to be blindsided by it. It's a win-win or a lose-lose game, and you got to choose how you want to go about it. Being best informed about things is honestly one of the best ways to win in any situation. Like I said, this is CryptoPresidente. Just going over, some articles that I'm reading up on. I'm gonna make more content, more videos, more connected dots to see if people can get it. But from here on out, just anybody has anything to say, talk about it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Y'all have a good day.